Shavua Tov to everyone joining us tonight. My name is Ella Levine, and I am the National Executive Director of Beit Lochem USA, Friends of Israel Disabled Veterans. Thank you for finding the time on Motzei Shabbat to be with us, the American Friends of Wounded Israeli Soldiers, to hear our special guest, Major Oren Blitzblau, one of the 50,000 injured veterans in Israel, a hero, to tell his personal story of survival and how he began his rehabilitation in earnest at Beit Elohim, how he faced a new life of fear of the unknown, worked so hard to regain strength and purpose. Here is a short video about Tzahal Disabled Veterans Organization, our organization founded in Israel in 1949, as our veterans call it, Bait Rachok Vekarov Mibait, a home away from home. They are not alone. That's so true. I would like to introduce you to the chairman of Tzahal Disabled Veterans Organization in Israel. Eidan Kleiman is a man who lost and who has given his body and soul to his country, to Israel, and to his fellow disabled veterans, advocating for their rights and helping them face and overcome the daily challenges of disability. Born in Jerusalem, Eidan was drafted into the IDF Givati Brigade in 1991. A year into his service, he was critically wounded in the Gaza Strip. I went from being a Givati fighter to a paraplegic, a disabled IDF veteran, he has commented. A law school graduate, Eidan has been instrumental in increased services for veterans suffering from PTSD. He notes, There is no bigger honor than to serve as the chairman of this organization of warriors, 50,000 veterans who have given their bodies and soul to Israel. It is my biggest honor to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a special greeting for you all from Aidan Kleiman.
Shalom and Shavua Tov to the friends of the Riverdale Jewish community. My name is Dan Kleiman, and I'm the chairman of the Tzal Disabled Veteran Organization, Bet Halochem. Thank you so much for participating in this special event to hear the inspiring story of my friend Oren Blitzblau, a brave injured veteran, and learned about Bet Halochem. Today, there are over 57,000 brave heroes who fought and were wounded in Israeli wars. It's our national and moral duty to stand by them and thank them for the sacrifice, dedication, and internal contribution to our country's resilience. Here at Bet Halochem, we work around the clock to promote their rights and improve their well-being in the various circles of life, ensuring their rehabilitation and reintegration into Israeli society. Our commitment is for life. At our centers in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Haifa, and Beersheba, we offer a wide variety of services to its members and their families, with an emphasis on rehabilitation through education, sports, art, workshops, and social gathering. The programs we run at Bet Halochem go beyond the physical support of our veterans to emotional rehabilitation, family support, educational programs, and international initiatives that are groundbreaking in rehabilitation. I would like to take this opportunity to wish you and your families Chag Pesach Sameach, good health and peace. Please join the family of Bet Halochem friends. We hope you come to visit us in one of our centers next time you are in Israel. Shalom and all the best. Thank you.
Shavua Tov, everyone. It's so great to have you online this evening and welcome you to our by Zoom, which we've become so familiar with over the last few years. Although this tonight is on YouTube, and we're so grateful to our partnership with FIDV to make this evening's beautiful production happen. Especially want to thank Ella Levine, who really has connected with us and helped us, our shul, get connected with the FIDV community, the Friends of IDF Veterans, Beit Halochem USA, because as anyone who's been a part of our shul knows that we are so deeply moved by the stories of veterans, and particularly tonight, we are supporting Israel's wounded veterans. Just really think about the legacy of the Bayit of Rav Avi and Rav Stephen, who are so deeply invested and committed to Medinat Yisrael, and especially to those Chayalim who've really put their lives on the line. And every Chayal does, and the one who we'll be hearing from this evening, Oren Blitzbau especially has. And I was thinking about at davening this morning, when we read the Mishaber L'Chaye Le'Tzahal, we ask that Hashem be Atrim Keter Yeshua V'Ateret Nitzachon, that God should crown them, the Chayalim, with the crown of salvation and the glory of victory, of really feeling that those who've given on behalf of Eretz Yisrael, of Medinat Yisrael, Am Yisrael, should receive the glory of knowing that they've fought and stood up for our people. And so it's just such a pleasure to be here this evening. I'd be remiss if I didn't offer my thanks, tremendous thank you to Tzvi Pekin, who helped organize tonight's evening, who connected us with FIDV, and who's just a individual, a person who has helped to ensure that our Beit Knesset not only expresses the values of our love for Medinat Yisrael, but truly stands by it, supporting organizations and individuals who have dedicated their lives to Medinat Yisrael. So to thank also Oren Blitzbau, who will be joining us this evening and sharing his story with us. It's a powerful story, and we're so grateful to learn from him and hear from him. And with that, I'll hand it back to Ella Levine to take us to our next steps.
Thank you, Rabbi Ezra. And it really was a pleasure to meet you and spend some time at the Beit and in Riverdale and talking to all your staff. I really hope that this will be a new relationship that we will be able to take it a little bit further. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce you to a very special person, our guest speaker, Major Oren Blitzblau. Major Oren Blitzblau, our special guest this evening. And please note that this is 4 a.m. in Israel. So Oren, toda rabba for not sleeping most of the night. Is here with us representing his fellow heroes in Israel. Major Blitzblau served in the IDF's intelligence directory for 20 years. In his last position, he served in Unit 8200. Oren, a blind IDF veteran, lost his sight in January 2005 during a military operation in the Gaza Strip. Despite his severe injury, he continued his military service while undergoing an intense and difficult rehabilitation. In July 2014, Oren received the Medal for Exemplary Rehabilitation from the Minister of Defense. Oren holds a BA in Government Studies and is a graduate of the MA program in Homeland Security and Counterterrorism from the Lauder School of Government at the Reichman University. Lately, he has focused on teaching on issues regarding the cyber world to middle school and high school students throughout Israel, while continuing to write about terrorism and the rehabilitation of victims of terror. Major Blitzblau became involved in sports again when he came to Beit Elochem. His training led to competitions and triumphs. At the Para Triathlon European Championships in Eilat in April 2012, he won a bronze medal in the category of the blind. This included swimming, biking, and running. That same year, he finished seventh in the Para Triathlon World Championship in the blind category. He also competed in an Ironman championship in January 18 in Sweden, where he was the first blind Israeli to complete the event at full force. In a field of 1,700 contestants, Oren came in at 83rd place in his age group, which broke the previous best time by a blind person by 12 minutes. Oren Blitzblau is married, the father of two daughters, and lives in Herzliya. His achievements demonstrate that the strongest force in the world against all evil is willpower. He is a role model and inspiration to us all. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our special guest, Major Oren Blitzblau.
Good evening to all. What a great opportunity to speak to you all in Riverdale. Ella, Rabbi Seligson, many thanks for the kind invitation. I was told I have 10 minutes to share my story with you, my friends, so I'll try to wrap it up as fast as I can in 10 minutes in 4 a.m. I will be honest, it's the first time I'm giving lectures in 4 a.m., but hopefully I will succeed. I would like to share my story by just saying a few details, a few sentences about myself. I was born and raised uptown in Israel in a town called Nahariya, and I was a very, very energetic boy. To be honest, I think if I were born these days, I will probably be in the highest dosage of Ritalin. My parents suffered from a very, very energetic boy. In order to cope with the challenges, they sent me to the swimming pool in Nahariya, and there is a reason I'm mentioning the swimming in the beginning of my talk, because swimming was the first place I learned about being determined and motivation and goals. Uh, I wasn't so talented. I had a lot of motivation, but I wasn't so talented. It always came to fourth and fifth place in the competitions. Here and there, I will I won a medal, but the swimming, actually, in my point of view, is the first place I learned what is not giving up, and I think that swimming has a lot of reasons and credit the fact that I'm even speaking right now. And because I wasn't so talented, I was drafted to the parachute corps in 1994. Started my service like all 18 years old in Israel. And very shortly, I shifted to the intelligence corps and started my career. It all went very good. Uh, I did a lot of the posts and duties in Gaza Strip and up north of Israel in the Lebanon border. And in 1996, I became an officer and slowly but surely advanced in the intelligence corps. And in 2004, I was already a major in the brigade, in the Armed Brigade 188. In January 2005, I was posted in the Gaza Strip, in the center of the Gaza Strip, as the intelligence corps. After serving there in the past for 6 years, I was well known in the arena. I knew actually every piece of ground there. And in January 18, 2005, it was a routine day. And around noon, same day, I got a phone call from the Secret Service, what we call Shabak, the Shin Bet. There is a suspect who is tending to pass the strip, the Gaza Strip, to up north to the south, from Gaza City to Rafah, and we have an opportunity to arrest him in a Gush Katif junction. It started as a routine arresting day, and I was escorting the Secret Service personnel trying to arrest a suspect, but unfortunately, he detected that we're going to arrest him, and he pulled a trigger from his trousers and exploded. Un- Unfortunately, the person I was working with, Odette Sharon, died immediately, and I was severely injured. I was wearing glasses; they were broke into my eyes. The ceramic vest uh, actually saved my life, but because of the blast, it actually crashed my ribs into my lungs, and I suffer from blasts and burns all over my body. I was rushed to Soroka in Bereshiva Hospital to intensive care, and I lost my conscious there, and I woke up after 3 days, and I couldn't see. And I woke up and tried to open my eyes, and I told the nurse I realized that I'm in the hospital, and I told her I can't see, and she told me you were severely injured in your eyes. I said both eyes. She told me the right eye you lost it, but there is a small chance you're going to see a friction of sight in your left eye. This small friction lasts for several years, but today I don't see a thing, total blindness. I asked to give a call, wanted to speak to my wife, Nitzan. We were married only 15 months then in January 2005. Uh, I gave her a call. She came to the intensive care in Bereshiva Hospital, and I told her babe, give me a few months. I'm going to back to active service. It didn't took 2 or 3 months. It took 8 months. And I went back to active service for another 10 years and completed 20 years of active service because I strongly believe there's nothing bigger than serving your country. And I did a lot of duties as an intelligence officer that I can't elaborate. Ella mentioned that the last position was in the Unit 8200, and it was amazing. But I felt that my biggest win over the Hamas will be the fact that I will be doing the same things I was doing, not as a grown up, as a teenager as well. And this is the reason I started to move because I knew if I will do the same things I've done as a teenager, that's the biggest win. So I started to move. First, I started to cycle on a tandem bike. I couldn't run and I couldn't swim at first because I was suffering from blasts and burns. And slowly, surely, I started to visit in Bet Lochem in Tel Aviv. And Bet Lochem, it's a bite, it's a home. And you're surrounded by people who are injured like yourself, and you can talk and you can give some space to the injury mentally and physically. And here and there, the years went by, and I was notified that there is a new Paralympic category called paratriathlon, and I started to compete in paratriathlon. But I would like to talk about three things that helped me to cope with the challenges in my journey. First, denial. I was suffering from a huge denial. I know it's a mechanism that actually help you to protect yourself, but in my point of view, it didn't help. And I strongly believe that the Bet Lochem is a place you can allow yourself stop with the denial and say out loud, I'm blind. The second thing is how to cope with these of kind of challenges is to be a profession. And to be a blind speaker, it's a profession as well. And there are people in Bet Lochem that actually help you to get the opportunity to speak to some companies and friends. And today, this is my main business, and I make a living from giving lectures all over Israel and the world as a blind person, as a blind speaker. And the third thing I would like to share is the word decision. If you're gonna open a dictionary in the word decision, the true meaning of the word decision is a time to cut. And I think that the true translation and meaning of the word decision helped me to realize there's a new life and old life. And if I can focus on the new life, I can get along with my life and to say, this is it. It's new life, and this is the best thing I can do here and now. And all of these achievements, I couldn't achieve them without the kind support of donators all over the world in Israel. Bet Lochem, it's a great place, but I had the privilege to serve my country after I was injured and to present my country as a para triathlete by the kind support of Bet Lochem. Amazing support, flying to New Zealand, to Australia, to United States, to Japan, to Europe, all over the world, competing and serving my country and presenting my country. I couldn't have done it alone. I had a great opportunity to do that. And this is my story. And I would like to thank you again for inviting me, sharing my story. And I think it's a great time to hear now Rabbi Zedekson and Ella Levin.
Oren, not only being with us at this crazy hour in the morning, we have a few comments here that people have submitted. And if I may, I would like to read the first one. How do you face other disabilities that are not recognized by the naked eye? In addition to being blind, you suffer from PTSD. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, yes, that is correct. And can I answer?
Of course.
Mm. PTSD uh, is a injury with no scar. It's not shown, and I think that the biggest way to handle PTSD is sport. Sport. There is no shrink in the world that will tell you, or psychotherapist, that sports is worse than the best pill, best drug you can take. Sport is the amazing, amazing therapy. And not only I had the opportunity to serve my country and represent my country, I will be honest and say that sport was a very, I won't say arrogant, but very a private goal for myself to keep on training because I knew this is the best way I can heal. And the other thing is the acknowledge the fact that you know that PTSD will stay probably to the rest of my life. There are times I can't sleep. There are times I'm very alert. And the best way you can cope with it is not fighting it. You know, many people are suffering from PTSD, car accident, uh, not as a veterans. And we live our life, trying to find why did I had to get it. I'm blame. It shouldn't have happened. It's all excuses. Life are complicated here in the in this place on the planet in the Middle East, and this is it. This is the best way we can deal it.
I have another question, Oren, if I may.
Yes,
Not
please.
being able to see your two beautiful daughters,
Hmm.
how do you imagine them? How do you
Well,
how do you feel them? How do
uh,
you communicate with them?
well, for first, there is some advantages. I was injured and I was 29. My wife was 26, and she was twice pregnant. And after several days, she said, "Honey, listen, I gained weight." And I said, "Baby, this is the way I remember you. You're cool." So there are some advantages, and you know, uh, yes, I didn't see my daughters. Never. I never saw them, but I can hug them and I can listen and I can feel them and I can taste them just to give them a kiss when they were babies. But uh, this is it. This is it. It's hard. It's complicated, but I can't. I have no influence on it. So if you realize that this is the fact, and there is no way you can influence on this situation, and you can cope with it. You know, I didn't see my girls, but one of the biggest challenges was uh, the fear that Nitzan would leave me. I'm not the same person. We were married only 15 months when I was injured. We had no children, no mortgage, and I thought she will leave. But we are together for 20 years, happily married, and with a great, great, great two amazing daughters.
Rabbi Ezra, it's a story that I think takes our everyday worries away, and just listening to Oren. Uh, can you share with us, when did you decide to compete in the Ironman triathlon competition, and why the triathlon?
I was a swimmer as a teenager, and swimming, as I was saying, was a there's something very calm in the swimming, the water, that helps you to focus, to calm down, to some meditation, and I felt I felt at home in the swimming pool in Bet Lochem because I was trained. I was sharing you that I was a swimmer from age 6 to 17 as a and this is the reason I wanted to start with swimming. And I started the para triathlon in the short distances, the sprint distance. The sprint distance is 750 meters swimming, 20 kilometers cycling, and 5 kilometers running. But as I started to pass the 40 years old, you know, the speed is a bit fade away, and this is the time you can still compete in the endurance on the long distance. So I started to shift on the long distance, and I realized that my results are quite good. So I did the half distance for 3 times, and in August 2018, I had the great opportunity to compete in Sweden, and actually there I broke the world record for the blind category, 10 hours and 51 minutes, and it was amazing. It was amazing. It was, crossing the finish line, and the speaker says, "Oren Blitzvlau from Israel, you are an Iron Man." So for me, it's the biggest win. It's the biggest win. I travel in the world I don't see, but I can still represent my country. So this is, from my point of view, the biggest win.
Beautiful. Thank you, Oren. I just wanted to read aloud a comment from Rev. Stephen Exler, who's our senior rabbi.
Hmm.
And he asked, he said, "Thank you for your devoted service to Medinat Israel and your absolutely inspiring story. You're a role model for all of us. What are your next goals and challenges for yourself moving
Calm
forward?"
down. First of all, calm down. It's very easy to say that in 4 a.m. Uh, but these days I'm focusing on meditation and ice bath with Wim Hof. Actually, I'm gonna go to Europe. I'm gonna fly to Europe in 3 weeks for sitting in a 1 or 2 Celsius ice bath with meditation. I do sport these days, but very easily, like maintenance. Every day I train on the gym or running or cycling, but it's not so intense. And I stop running with my Garmin on my wrist. I enjoying the fact that I will have a birthday on 3 weeks time, 47. And there are times in the life you have just to calm down, enjoy life. So these days I'm only on maintenance and enjoying the sport.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was wondering if you could like walk us through. what does like a regular day look like for you? Like with your family, with your
Today it's not.
friends?
Today it's not a regular day, but I didn't decide if I'm gonna go back to bed to sleep, or I'm gonna leave the home in 2 hours for another lecture down South Israel, uh, and I'm involved in other projects regarding renewable energy, uh, and give lectures and some advice in the security field still, uh, and sport. You know, uh, I stopped for actually 6 months ago with the cyber lectures. These days, I'm focusing only on my own private story. Uh, this is my main salary, and this is it.
Thank you. I had another question. Someone texted it to me, not on the main chat. They wanted to know, like, can you share a little bit about having had opportunities to connect with other folks with the similar injuries to yours, and what that
Sure.
feels like, or what that connection or that advice that happens between you?
Uh, Actually, I during my rehabilitation, I learned to be a coacher, and I'm a part of a group that actually meets every Wednesday, very early in the morning before we go to work. And there are actually another 8 veterans there, and we have opportunity to share our thoughts and challenges and the work and the dialogue between us and the Ministry of uh, Rehabilitation, the Division of Rehabilitation, the Ministry of Defense. You probably know that we had a very tragic story 2 years ago with Itzik Saidian, and since then things are becoming extremely better. Uh, Majorly, I think things are better due to Idan's Kleiman's work that is amazing. What Idan made in the past 2 years, us veterans, is amazing. Today we have many issues that were unsolved for the past 20 years. Suddenly were solved, and we have a better, bigger, better, and wider dialogue with the Division of Rehabilitation, and it's great.
Thank you.
If I may, Oren, I just want to share with you and everybody. When I came to Israel the first time, when I came to work for Beit Halochem here in the U.S. in New York, when I saw your friends, our veterans, their overwhelming, really emotional feeling was, how do you do that? How do you do this every day? And before I left, one of our friends in Jerusalem came over to me, and I think he saw, the ma'ot, some
Mhm.
tears coming down my face, and he turned to me and he said, "Ella, al tidagi, Ella, don't worry, akol yeh beseder."
Mhm.
And I think on this note, if there are no other questions, Rabbi, that you have, I would like to say in closing that Owen's story has shown us all the bravery and sacrifices people like you have to make to protect Israel for all of us. It's not only for Israel, it's for us as well. that you are the person that we can have freedom in every country in the world where we are, knowing that Israel is strong and there are people like you. I want to thank you for sharing what it means to face and overcome disability by living an active life, a life of courage, pride, while facing challenges every day and every hour. And to all of you, Rabbi Ezra, and your congregants, I really would like to say and hope that you can join the family of Beit Elohim supporters here in the US. Oren's story is the story of one person, an incredible person. But we have so many, 50,000 members of Beit Elohim, or Tzahal Disabled Veterans Organization, as we are called in Israel, Irgun Nachei Tzahal. I would like to invite you to call me, email me, write comments. You can come and visit our centers. When you visit, just let me know. We will arrange private visits for you and your families when you go. You cannot just go and visit a Beit Elohim center. Our veterans are very private. They come for treatments, but we can do it here from New York for everyone who is going to visit. You can join us at the Bat of Bar Mitzvah Chesed program that we have for young people coming to mitzvot in Jerusalem. They can come and play with our veterans who are the basketball wheelchair team that are champions in Israel. I invite you all because Oren and his friends depend on us, and we depend on you. I want to wish you all a Chag Pesach Sameach, a Zissen Kosher Pesach. And now, as we conclude our program, and I invite you to watch the closing video about Beit Elohim.
Every IDF soldier, both men and women, is bound by a solemn oath. I swear to devote all my energies and even sacrifice my life for the protection of the homeland. It is the pledge that touches every Jewish heart and guarantees the future of the State of Israel.
שנת 2002, יום שישי חול המועד פסח, בעצם אנחנו מקבלים קריאה לצו 8, נפרד מהאישה והילדים. הרגשתי שאני הולך למלחמה.
June 18 started as a routine resting day. I was the intelligence officer of the Armed Brigade 188.
February 25th was the beginning of hell that lasted for a few months. Malls exploded, buses exploded, there were attacks all over.
פיגוע המוני של 30 אנשים שנרצחים בחדר אוכל של מלון פארק גורם לממשלת ישראל להוציא את מבצע חומת מגן לדרך. פתאום מטח של אש ויריות מכל הכיוונים, מכל הבתים מסביב.
I heard the word Wakif, and I was like staring to the left and huge boom.
בשלב מסוים אני רואה כמו כדור או אלומה של אש מתקרבת אליי, ואני מרגיש כאב מאוד חזק ברגל, ואני מבין שנפצעתי.
I suffered from blast injuries. The glasses I was wearing were broke into my eyes. I lost my eyesight immediately.
פתאום יש דממה שמכאיבה באוזניים. אני רואה גופות של חברים, ואני בעצם שם מרשה לעצמי לצעוק שכולם נהרגו, ואף אחד לא נשאר.
Dana was only 21 years old when a terrorist detonated an explosive device on the bus she was traveling in. She was severely injured, both physically and mentally.
I was sitting on the gas tank and caught fire immediately, and I was screaming for help, and then I lost my consciousness. I was presumed to be dead. When they started taking out the bodies, they realized I was still alive, so I was rushed to the hospital, and I woke up a week later with no recollection of what happened. I spent painful, horrible months in the hospital. I wasn't able to walk for almost 3 months because everything was burned.
I think the most hard thing is to wake up in the morning, open your eyes, and it's still total darkness.
זה לא פשוט לחזור בחזרה לחיים. אנחנו ממשיכים לחיות, והחיים ממשיכים, ואיכשהו אתה צריך באמת לאזור את הכוחות מתוכך בשביל להמשיך קדימה, וזה בכלל לא פשוט. ופה נכנס בית הלוחם.
בית הלוחם was a significant part in my life. A year after I was injured.
It didn't take long to realize that we are all in the same boat, and we are all coping with the same things, the same situations in life.
אתה לא מרגיש שונה, שזה משהו מאוד משמעותי בשיקום של אנשים. להרגיש שווים, כאילו להרגיש שהם גם יכולים. כל המערכת, כל הדבר הזה עוטף אותך. זה המקום שאתה רוצה לחזור אליו תמיד, אל הבית.
Three army officers knock on my door. I didn't understand what they want. I think about 2 seconds and I understand. And I told them that they can go because I understand that Ohad is dead. We want to talk with you. He is not dead. But he's in a very bad situation.
יש לנו פצוע קשה, אנחנו זקוקים לפינוי מיידי.
And we have about 1 hour to get to the hospital to say goodbye.
Nothing had prepared me to this moment.
His left brain was completely damaged.
We were in the dark, absolutely in the dark.
When he opened his eyes, it was the happiest day in my life.
I asked him if he recognized me, and he said something like this.
Today, Beit HaLochem is proudly helping heroes and their families every step of the way.
Beit HaLochem is a whole treatment. Whatever your passion is, they will find a way to make your dream come true, to make you realize that you are bigger than you thought.
בעזרת בית הלוחם אני מתחיל לעסוק בספורט, לאט לאט אתה מתחיל לרכוש כלים מקצועיים ולייצג את המדינה שלנו, זאת גאווה מאוד גדולה. להיות זה שנושא את הדגל ועושה את המקסימום להיות הכי טוב בשביל המדינה שלך.
I started to pay visits here in the swimming pool. I could start to run a bit, and actually eventually it reached to a place that I could do a triathlon. I crossed the finish line in Sweden, and it was a Guinness record for the fastest blind Ironman in the world. And Beit HaLochem was the biggest support ever. Otherwise, I couldn't have done it alone.
I'm not showing off, but I am really proud of the path that I walked in.
I'm proud of my family. I'm proud of my son that he chose to wake up every morning and fight all his disabilities, and I'm also proud of my country.
I think that today, after so many years, I can be proud. I'm the one who won this fight, not the Hamas. And the biggest win is the fact that I'm a father.
Our dedicated staff, supporters and friends, and thanks to you, we make sure that the pain of physical and mental injury, anxiety and post-traumatic stress doesn't have to be a way of life, and the soldiers who safeguard Israel's future get the future that they deserve.
Thank you.
תודה לכם.
תודה רבה. תודה רבה.
And a big thanks